I drug all three of my Tuttio Sport e-bike, e-motorcycles out into the sun this morning. It's still a little chilly, but I wanted to show some comparisons and whatnot. I'm going to kind of come in between these two right here so you can see some of like the seat height. Note that I'm up a little bit here because I'm 6 foot tall. Okay, but seat height going on here. Okay, and talk about the difference between these two. So these are Adria 24s. I bought them back in November. They've kind of discontinued this line and went to the Adria 26. The only difference being 26-inch tires instead of 24s. And I'm running 1200 watt motors that peak to 2000. It's my understanding the Adria 26 has 2000 watt motors that peak to 2500, which is actually a better setup. So not going to go into the all-wheel drive part about it now. So bearing in mind, we are talking about 1200 plus 1200 that peak to 2000 that peak to 2000, which gives us 4000 watts. Okay, we come over here and we are looking at one motor in the back. Okay, and that is a 2000 watt motor that peaks to 4000. And I will tell you right now, it takes a long time to get all the way out to that 4,000. It's not like you jump all the way up to 4,000. It jumps at 2, and then it just slowly builds up from there. And it takes, I'll have to time it how long it takes, because it takes a little while to get up to top speed. But when it does, it flies. I know I'm still conditioning the battery right now because it's brand new, and I'll have to ride it for about a month before I'll know exactly what's going on with speed and range. But I did get up to 42.4 miles an hour, and I did get 42 miles worth of range in it when I did the range test. So the range test was done slow speed. It was done in PAS1, and I literally rode it for 3 hours. So coming over to this bike, I've got it a little more tricked out than my wife's. Things like the Bose sound system, the rear view camera, my cell phone mounts on there. I got a really cool thing for my music, and then if I need to, I can put a camera and a GPS up on that top bar. The other thing that's tricked out on this is I've got this little battery bank. It's like, I think it's 40,000. Yeah, it's USB bank. So basically it's a headlight, and it's also a USB bank for charging things like the rear view system or the Bose speaker or whatnot. So this Adria 24 is just like that one. The only difference is I have this one programmed a little more aggressively than that one. This one over here takes about 4 or 5 rotations of the pedal before the motors kick in, and when they do kick in, they kick in very gently. Over here, I've got this set one. I think I've set it up for like 1 pedal, maybe 2 cranks, and then it kicks in at full power, very aggressively. So, and it's kind of obvious the difference. I'm going to come around to the back side of these, and so I want you to look at my wife's tire, and she's probably got about 50, 60 miles on her bike. She might be up to 100. And over here, I'm getting close to 700 miles on this one. So, kind of cool. The stock tires on the Adria 24 were very thin. I've had to put Kevlar liners and slime in just to prevent the goat heads, if any of you know what a goat head is. I'll try to post a picture here. Here's a goat head. Yeah, nasty little things on tires. I've got a bunch on the front. Nothing on the back, all in the front. So I don't know what it is. Since I put the liners and Kevlar in, a lot better. In the few days I've owned this ICT, I have gotten like 6 goat heads in the tires. I was hoping I would have one in there now. Yeah, that's a little sticker right there. And that normally wouldn't, but yeah, I was kind of hoping there would be a goat head in here that we could look at and show you. Anyways, I've had 6 of them in here in the last couple of days, and not a single issue. So, in my last video, I talked about the geometry of this bike and about the pedals and where they sit. And I want to kind of show you again what I mean is from right there, there is 13 inches from here to here. Now, I noticed all you kids are getting the other Tuttio bike, the Soleil or whatever it's called, Soleil 01. So, and you guys are modding the hell out of that thing. So, this thing would be a dream mod if you literally took the pedals, crankshaft, chain guard, chain, and all that off, and literally put pegs in right here. It would give you an additional 5.5 inches from here and get you out to what, 18.5. So big change for bigger guys. Fun change for those that are modding this thing. Just so you know, guys, the controller's down in here. It's pretty cool. It kind of hides away with the battery. Have not got this into water, I'll be honest. There's going to be a lot of things I need to do with this bike. So I'm going to kind of run around this thing a little closer today. So if you had questions about certain things, you can kind of see what's going on. Again, incredible brakes on this bike. The dual cylinder here are nice. It stops on a freaking dime, which is nice with as fast as it goes. Still working with this air shock. I think I'm going to send an email to the factory today and see if they have specs on this shop. I might take a picture of the underside of that label there. And in fact, let's just do that. What is that? Okay, so we'll get some specs on that today to see what I need to be pumping that up to, because I bottomed out twice yesterday. But yeah, I was pushing it. So again, the battery hides in this compartment. Here's the key lock. Here's where you charge it. The battery slips in. It's got its own secondary locking system up in here with this little latch. Inverted forks that are super, super beefy. These are so nice. I don't know how they're going to do with the heavier rider because I don't see any adjustment on these. Those are rubber caps. There might be something under that. I know on the bottom of the fork there's not. These tires love to grab gravel, I'll tell you that. I want to say this right now before I forget, because I thought of this last night. So I would love to have a second version of this bike with knobbies on it. I mean, put street slicks on one, okay, and knobbies on the other, because, wow. Yeah, this thing's got a little get up and go, and I know it'll be fun in the dirt with these tires, but it would be really interesting to put a more aggressive, if nothing else, rear tire on it. Front, I don't know. We may have to air down so we don't get side slip on it. So I'm going to finish this up by kind of showing the difference between the two here. Obviously, you know, big tire size difference by 4 inches, but the width is the same. They're both running 4 inches wide. So lastly, let's go over the battery between these two. The Adria 24/26 is running a 52 volt 30 amp hour battery, whereas the ICT is running 60 volts at 25 amp hours. So there's 50 watt hours difference between the two bikes technically, but because this is slightly higher voltage by 8 volts, you're probably going to see a little more range out of this one than the other one. It depends on how the battery management works. But usually the higher the voltage, the little more performance you get. And you can kind of back off those amp hours and still match up. I'm seeing those specs on the electric motorcycles that I'm looking at, which I'm going to get one of those before Christmas. So you'll see another bike in the garage, and that one will be really fast and really crazy. So anyways, I'm going to try to get this thing out in the dirt today. It's been raining like hell, so I'm going to have to find a place that isn't muddy and see what I can do. I wanted to make my final conclusion on this. This is a really good bike. Okay, I am looking at the Adria 26, just like a lot of you folks are, trying to decide which is a better bike. If you want basically a little pit bike that goes really fast and is really, peppy and picks the front tire up, I recommend the ICT. But if you want a bike that has cargo racks, okay, maybe a little more street friendly, maybe a little more dirt friendly, then I would look at the Adria 26 because it's got amazing cargo racks. You can do cool stuff with the handlebars a lot easier. Over on mine you can see how I added the rear view system and handlebar extensions and all that. All that stuff won't move over here until I get a different handlebar extension to put over on here. So but you can see there's, I've got the Tuttio trunk, as I call it, on there. But I've got saddlebags, I've got a folding box. There's a whole bunch of options that you can do as far as storing and riding, groceries and things like that on the Adria 26/24 series, whereas you can't even put a front bag on this because you'll cover the headlight. So you might be able to get a little storage in here with one of those hang down bags. I really don't see how you're going to get a storage rack on the back of this because it kind of comes off to here. You might be able to bundle something in here and make it act like a little butt rest or something. A little soft roll or something that you could have tools or whatnot in. But yeah, see, I like my trunk on the Adria 24 because I literally have everything to fix the tire in here. I mean, everything. So to do that with the ICT, I'm going to have to carry a backpack. So I'm probably going to get one of those bags that hangs down there just for the tools and my bike pump and things like that. So again, I hope I've covered and answered a lot of questions. I'm going to contact Tuttio in the next couple of days and see about getting an Adria 26 here so that I can compare the Adria 26 against the Tuttio ICT. And I'll actually have my friend Miner Bud come down and we'll drag race these two bikes against each other so you can kind of see what's going on. So again, give me a couple weeks to get the Adria 26 in and get Miner Bud freed up so that he can come down from the mine and help me out doing a drag race. So take care, you guys. I hope this has been informative. I know I've been talking to a bunch of you on the Tuttio Facebook channels, and again, it's a wonderful bike. Each one has its own benefits and disadvantages depending on what you're doing, If you want to go fast, obviously you want the ICT. If you want to carry stuff and do errands and run around town, obviously you're going to want the Adria 26. So take care, folks. I hope that makes it easier.